It is Wednesday, my dudes. But for me, it was Monday. Can you do that right? I don't want to wait till the last minute to do this. Anyway, welcome to Searching for RinoaCast, the Searching for Rinoa podcast.
Yes!
I found out about it literally right after last month's podcast. Literally moments after. So let's jump right into coming soon. As far as fighting games go, I don't think I was finished with my LP of Grand Blue Fantasy Versus when I'm just surfing YouTube. One of the channels I'm subscribed to just shows off a small video about Grand Blue Fall Guys. I'm like, really? That's a thing? I'm like, alright. But that apparently was just a minigame in the fucking sequel/remake called Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising. It will see your rollback netcode and raise you new characters and stages. So, oh, hi there. Podcasting for Rodo here. I'm editing and I'm looking through There's already some of the revealed stuff for the game already. New character, Anila. She reminds me of I don't remember the name of the shoot VTuber. I just know there is one. Tsunomaki. Junkim. That's all I know. It was Mika related. That's one of my other favorites. Ever since GTA 5. Like you fucking fuck you. Auto combo system that you can switch up in between to do like a low or an overhead. There's a dash attack to get in. Apparently because Arxis loves this, the little chibi characters that you like walk around. It used to be like Cross Tag had it, Fighters had it, just like chibified characters walking around. They're gonna give you more than just that. That's what the Fall Guys thing was. I thought it was that. No. That's other shit you can just do in the lobby. Like you don't even have to play like the main game itself. They're just giving you like, we're getting options in games again. It's not just all like the single player or the. I'm all for that resurgence. Give me back mini games within the main game again. That's what this feels like. Yes. As someone who was okay with Mortal Kombat, but hey, you give me that chess combat, I'm like, something different. You give me that puzzle combat, something different. You give me that motor kart combat. I know it's blatant, but that's the fun. I like it something different. I want to see how close it is. How up on your game on that are you? I'm like, okay. Puzzle combat actually a little easier than not as BS, unless I turned the difficulty down on the Capcom fighting, the Capcom collection, and I'm like, oh, now I'm just easy moding everything. It'll make it easier to get that trophy where it's like, play everyone, get every single ending. Expect videos from that a little later on my channel. Speaking of new characters, during the myriad of new trailers, directs, state of play, stuff like that this month, we got to see how dummy thick Zangief is. The clap from his ass cheeks will probably nerf the damage a spinning pile driver will do. Maybe, who knows? Capcom has its Talon in Lily, part of the same Thunderfoot tribe as T-Hawk. She gets a little of his moves in the upward and downward dives. There's I think it's Condor Dive, Condor Spire. I forget what the second one is. I know Condor Dive's one of them. The Mexican Typhoon is there, the 360, but she uses her clubs to snatch and pull people in very fast and tiny, in contrast to T-Hawk or Zangief or Marissa, who has TV tropes, says, I believe they call her the tallest female street fighter. Speaking of female street fighters, Cammy's got pants now. Is she still with MI6, or is she freelance now that the threat of Shadaloo is behind her? Or is it? That hourglass figure, remember ladies, she was genetically modified as a teenager to be one of Bison's dolls and possibly extra body for him to house in. So Even Geese Howard and Heihachi are looking at that, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Then, ironically, another bison body, and Seth does the female form to switch to another body, and now was barely holding together at the end of 5, and that's all they might have written for that character. Just another victim. Can we get a Street Fighter character that's a licensed therapist? Because, Jesus, the damage left in Bison's wake. Tekken 8, same question. Maybe Abel learning about all this, he comes in to help. He seems like he's a dog person. He's like, I just want to help out, Doesn't have to be playable, but he's in the same boat. Maybe talk sense and get his brother some help, or, I don't know, that's probably not happening. I think they just wrote off Abel. It's like, put him in a jury-like body and looking through his TV tropes thing, and it's like, yeah, they're pretty much, I think, wrapping him up, and it's just like, ooh. But there was some teasing with the whole, maybe redemption arc for him. One of Goken's win quotes in 4 says, in so many words, that he won't find peace of mind and individuality in doing evil acts. You're all this, and you're still Bison's puppet, which he's trying to do his best to escape from, and going real nihilist and evil way about it. It's implied he's a little too like Bison to earn any redemption, and the memory that persisted and invaded a different body just to survive is all Seth will ever be. But that's what DLC 4 is. Maybe he comes back. That could be a way to bring him back. He'll find a cloned body of Bison, and it turns out that now Seth and Bison are 2 souls in one body, and they're fighting it out inside to see who wins. Maybe that could be a thing for Seth to come back to. Speculating's fun. But with that, those reveals, that is the 18 at launch characters for Street Fighter 6. That's 2 more than the starting roster of 4, not counting in-game unlockables, and Street Fighter 5. So that's almost everybody from the leak save for 4. And back to speculating. Akuma, where does he sit in Ryu perhaps being a master now with Oro's cloak, which was confirmed? Maybe he can be a callback where he just jumps in and fights you if you play well enough in arcade. Rashid, best boy and already a fellow Wind user with the new character Lily. Ed from Neo Shadaloo, if that's still a thing. Still trying to find more of Shadaloo's and Bison's victims. Maybe that team will have a licensed therapist or something like that. Because we could all use some sanity at the same times, But yeah, could be looking into that. Could be investigating into JP and maybe help Ken out, since they may or may not be involved with this, conglomerate superpower. And the possibly Fong-related character, Aki. Same acronym name scheme. Her country flag was China like his. Maybe she wants revenge, maybe, So she gets tied in with Rashid, who was the one who took Fong down. Is JP the final boss, or do we alpha it in 1-2 this, and everybody just gets their own final boss related to each other? I really like that aspect. I hope we see more of that single-player creative character stuff, too. If you complete that mode, can you take your character out of that mode and go into arcade or online? Do we get more Eternity? Love the outfit, the Ruby Rod energy, just all of it. Yes, when Eternity isn't on screen, I am indeed asking, where's Eternity? People do that. I don't know if it's just me, or is everyone speaking up we want more Eternity. This, and then they bring it, anyway, don't want to talk too much about the trailers, just the stuff I'm kind of interested in, but, it'll be too many to read through, and I kind of, slept on most of it. I easy streams, so I was like, oh, I didn't know there was even a state of play. I come in there showing off already the characters, so I had to look back a little bit and do that. But yeah, Capcom, this and the remake of a game I tried and failed in and returned, because I'm like, oh, I'm not getting too far in this. I'm like, maybe this game's not for me, but I can. Resident Evil 4 remake, it's coming. It's coming soon. They were calling Based Cat God or something like that. I'm like, oh, they're finally climbing out of that hole they were in and seeing the sunrise. They cashed in their fail credits, and now they're like, all right, let's. John Sex did a short video talking about how SNK president Kenji Matsuhara is looking to maybe accomplish the same thing. I'm like, trying to bring back more variety into their IPs. Talk of, quote, action RPG Fatal Fury, complete my erection, SNK. That's all I'm going to say. I'm like, all right, you're going to Yakuza Fatal Fury? Oh, yes. I need that. But I think by the time Street Fighter 4 and 5 finished, both games had 44 characters at max. Will 6 break that number at its end? Just a final thought before moving on into games on the PlayStation front from what can we expect this month is the second aspect of coming soon. Marching right off the bat with another fighting game when, getting some more console love in the Rumblefish 2, March 3rd. Same day, Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja figure, hey, we did good with Neo 1 and 2. Let's give gamers another game like that, but in the setting we're most known for making games from, the Three Kingdoms era of China. And that's Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Already see Guan Yu and Lu Bu in the trailer. They might change their names. I think it was like Feng Yuan or something like that. No, I'm not super familiar with it. Of course, you gotta have Lu Bu. 3 days after that, Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC. I try to stay away from the roguelikes for the most part. I don't know if they would make for like really good LPs. There's too much of the random factor. I've shown off once of that here or there. I got into Rogue Legacy. I keep confusing that with Rogue Galaxy, which is not the same thing. Rogue Galaxy is a level 5 RPG, which I've done a Let's Play of. Very enjoyable. But yeah, Rogue Legacy. Which, as I found out later when I looked it up, was actually a Let's Play that I put to vote and was voted for most out of all of them by you guys. So, yeah. No, thank you. But anyway, back to Rogue Legacy. I'm dying an awful lot. Am I ever gonna... Let me move on and do something I can see the horizon of, kind of. I didn't like my time with it. We'll say that much. More spooky comes in a day later after that with the Souls-like FPS Little Witch Nobeta. Or Nobeta? Yeah, she's got like a wand or something like that, and she's shooting enemies from far away, and there's like the Souls-like bosses with like the really long red health bar and the name on the bottom. It's dipping its toes in it, and you're just a tiny little witch girl, just shoot at shadows and shit. I guess Little Witch Nobeta is all magic build, or whatever they call it. Looks like a chibified Justice League Heroes from the PlayStation 2, called DC Justice League Cosmic Chaos. Mr. Mixa whatever, voiced by Dana Snyder. So yeah, we got like Master Chick, Mr. I am the Lord of Illusions. If he said that in the trailer, I'm like, okay, day one. Not really, but exude that energy, and I'll be like, okay. You're driving vehicles around in it too. Could be just a silly, fun little jaunty adventure. I don't know what they'll be selling for, but I always buy stuff on sale anyway. But again, maybe something good, maybe something not so good. I don't know. It just kind of hit that like, oh, this gameplay is like it's a. I don't know if you're collecting a lot of studs or whatever. I'm like, might be a little bit Lego play, might be a little bit of the X-Men Legends kind of thing, top down. You're all tiny, you're just booting things, and the vehicle thing is what kind of like sold me a little bit harder. I was like, okay, might be some fun with that. Might be. Yeah. That's why I said Lego, because that's the aspect of that. You drive vehicles around and do stuff. Another Trails game, a series I'm curious about undertaking, but Lord knows where to even begin with that. The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure drops the 14th. I do see some others ignoring that one for the early deluxe edition of the new 2K WWE game, 2K23. I do like me some New Legacy Inc., and they're sure to showcase that game day one. See what it's about. That day one-ish. Working towards that day one glitch, as you know. Because New Legacy, they find a way. I might get my girl mech on in Alice Gear Aegis CS Concerto of Simulatrix, which I see Concerto and think, music game? Nah, it just looks like a 1v1 mech play or something like that, or if that. That's on the 16th. I mentioned Resident Evil 4, and that comes out on the 24th. A 2D action platformer looks like it might be challenging, but the stained glasswork aesthetic for the entire game, it looked interesting enough. I'm like, okay. I don't know if I'm going to go for this, but maybe if tough games might be your thing. I don't see much of like gameplay or life bar. They just showed off what the game looks like. That's Saga of Sins on the 30th. Yeah, the whole entire game with like stained glass and something like that. I'm like, ooh. But that will do for the month of March. April already looking promising with the remaster of Vanillaware PS2 strategy game in Grim Grimoire. And a smorgasbord of RPG goodness in the Mega Man Battle Network collections. So, really something to look forward to there. Now let's kinda break up the gaming talk with a new segment! It's even pre-recorded content because I've decided to do it that way. I say kinda gaming because it is gaming adjacent. But, ladies and gentlemen, in that Technicolor dream in between, I give you threads of fanfics! So I got a few comments from a YouTuber by the name of Relic-Angel on the topic of my quote-unquote dubbing of Threads of Fate, that old Let's Play. Lots of funny voices here and there. Last comment was how Relic-Angel did some Rue X Mint fanficery, some poems here and there. So today I have gone to fanfiction.net to scour a few quick entries, dusting things off for more than a few character voices I've done way back when. So let's go all the way to the last page, page 6, on fanfiction.net/game/threads of fate. And we'll start with Mint's poem by Relic of Maya. This little poem is how Mint felt when she got kicked out of the kingdom.
Maya, just you wait. I'll make you see that I decide my fate and have responsibility. I'll find another relic, a relic to be mine. And when I find that relic, it's world domination time!
Oh, I haven't done this voice in a long time.
And when I take over the world, you will be my slave. My powers will be unfurled to send you to your grave. Your pumpkins couldn't help. How I'd love to watch them fry. And to hear your little desperate yelp. Oh, Maya!
You're gonna die. This is your life. I couldn't resist. Not sure about the longer ones. I'm trying to go for like quick ones because I don't know how many of these I can fit in one. Like this Traitor in the Mist, that's like 8 chapters. One under that, Twinkle Twinkle by Realm on page 5. 1 chapter. Bill and Duke have a conversation before they go off to bed. Will Duke take this awkward conversation seriously? Slam! The door shut with a thud as Bill yawned, resting her back against the wall of the room of the inn after a night of spying, eating, chasing after the relic, and, of course, going downstairs to the bar and chatting, not to mention drinking. "Oh, my lady!" Duke wailed from behind the door, turning the knob and marching in. He put a hand to his face, which was now red. "Oh, sorry, Duke." Belle lazily waved her hand off, pulling her long, silvery blue hair out of her face. She closed the door behind him with the navy-haired partner of hers hiding his face in a nearby corner, sniffling slightly. "Suck it up, will ya, you big baby!" snapped Belle, patting Duke on the back slightly as she tapped her foot slightly. "Oh, yes, my lady." Immediately, Duke stopped sniffling and turned towards her. Belle grumbled slightly at this, rolling her eyes slightly. She stared down at her feet for a moment, then her mouth opened as if to speak. But no words came. Duke sat wearily on the bed, sleepy as could be. The goggle-wearing young man began. "What?" Belle snorted back, slowly stepping and halfway tripping over to the other bed to spread out on it fully. "I was thinking. Hope it didn't hurt too much. Oh, no, milady. But I was thinking. I heard that if you believe you can become whatever you want to be or do, you can actually be or do it. Do you really think that could happen?" Belle chuckled at this, smiling and shaking her head. "And where did you hear that from?" "This book I read last night. It was amazing, milady. Such a wonderful lesson. And what was the book called? Belle raised an eyebrow suspiciously. The little engine that could... Duke said proudly, holding up this small picture book. There was dead silence for a moment as the two stared at each other blankly, Duke still holding up his picture book. What happened to your other books, like Shadow Knight, Fist of Fire? Belle sighed and snatched the book from Belle, seemingly interested in the little book. I'm still reading Fist of Fire, he began, an exciting grin spreading across his face. And I got so worked up reading it, I had to take a break and read something else for a few nights, you know. So I bought these children's books. I haven't read them since years ago, but boy, they're wonderful, my lady. You should read them sometime. I'll, think about it. In return, Belle nodded slowly, an eyebrow still raised, as she threw the picture book lightly at Duke. Picture book hit his head sharply, and muttered aloud, "Oh!" and began to rub his hands lightly. Belle yawned once more, not bothering to cover her hand and snuggling up under the covers of her bed. Well, my lady, do you really think that's possible? Duke's eyes shined with hope and curiosity as he stared at Belle. I guess. I don't know. I never tried to be anyone but myself. But I do want to be the best treasure hunter ever, and I want that relic! And I believe that I can do it if I try. And it still hasn't happened! Yeah, but it might. I'll do anything to help you get the relic, my lady, replied the still ever-curious Duke. Well, for example, let's pretend for a second, my lady, that you wanted to become a... He thought hard and deeply about something Belle enjoyed immensely, and that would grab her attention. A what? A bottle of beer. Okay. Are you all right, Duke? Do you think if you tried hard enough, and believed you could become it, that you could become a bottle of beer? I mean, if you put your whole heart into it. Belle stared oddly at him at a loss for words. Her expression looked as if she was about to burst out laughing, but at the same time sympathy for someone so dumb, or so she believed. No, I am a human. I could never become a bottle of beer, no matter what I do. No matter how much I try, I will never become any form of beer. Belle smiled slightly and laughed as she said this, imagining the image of herself evolving into a bottle of beer. I'm light draft. Duke sighed in disappointment, lowering his once bright eyes slightly, which had seemed to have lost all hope. Oh, yep. Belle shrugged and turned off the light. Duke climbed under his covers and nestled into his bed. After several minutes of pure silence, Duke finally spoke up. My lady! What? Can't you see I'm trying to sleep? I need my beauty rest. Yes, I see that, my lady. He began to stutter, afraid of what the sleepy Belle's reaction would be. But will you tell me a bedtime story? No! Groaned Belle annoyedly, tossing over on the other side, her back towards Duke, grumbling a bit to herself. Please? I can't sleep. You've only been asleep for 3 minutes. Count some sheep. The both of them hushed as, after Belle said this, Belle fluffed her pillow slightly in one hand, resting her head back onto it, thinking of what would happen tomorrow. Would she get the relic? Yes, she had to. She was just about to doze off into a deep, wonderful sleep full of beautiful dreams of riches and gold. But then, my lady, what do you want now? Belle snapped more angrily than the first time. Please, will you please tell me a bedtime story? Duke pleaded in his most desperate, whiny, and childish voice. Oh, fine, you big baby. Belle angrily answered, hardly turning around in her bed, her eyebrows slanted in fury. Oh, thank you, my lady. Duke smiled slightly, stared straight at Belle in anticipation, not paying attention to her outraged and cranky expression. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Really? How I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, said Belle with her voice raised, slightly reciting the last several words slowly with a pernicious tone to her voice. Am I doing this right? So it's like, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. I'm just like, what even are you right now? I'm doing this through gritted teeth. Very enlightening, my lady. My thanks to you. I will rest now. Good, and you'd better shut up, Belle snapped immediately. Oh, yes, my lady, Duke said at last. Turning back around and closing his eyes slowly, he began to think of the 2 stories he read that day. If he tried hard enough, could he become a star? He began to mumble in his sleep. I think I can. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I can, twinkle, star. I think am a star. I am a star. I am a star. So that's how he gets the idea for the star outfit. Okay, I like that. Alright, same page. Threads of Fate by Luna of Berg. What would happen if Rue was the Prince of East Heaven and Mint was a doll of Valen? Gotta love a good old Freaky Friday setup. Chapter 1, Beginning. Prince Rue was an arrogant, selfish, bossy, nosy young 13-year-old, hated being bossed around and hated taking orders. I think I might do this wish to do like... I don't think I'd use that voice at all. Prince Rue was an arrogant, selfish, bossy, noisy and nosy young 13-year-old. He hated being bossed around and hated taking orders. I'm gonna be the next king. I can do what I want, he declared as he walked into the dining room of the palace. His grandpa Gramps, as he was more formally called, turned to the starving young prince. Prince Rue, dinner isn't for another 15 minutes. Shut up, Gramps. I'm hungry and I'm gonna eat. Rue yelled as he began trying various dishes. Gramps panicked. Prince, what are you doing sitting in the majesty seat? This will be my seat in a few more days. Not anymore. Oh, right. Not anymore. Gramps and Rue turned to the speaker. Princess Maya. Rue laughed. Hello, sis. What's up? My goodness, Rue. What are you doing in father's seat? She gasped. The doll master behind him. Rue laughed. Like I told Gramps, this'll be my seat in a few days, Rue declared proudly. Maya glanced around. And like I said, not anymore. What do you mean? What do you think it means? You misuse your responsibilities. Maya nearly fell down. She was so mad. The strawberry-haired girl clenched her fist tightly and shook one. You know what I think? My role is 100 times greater than yours. I'm handsome, talented, and I have a great sense of judgment. When the time comes, I'll shape up and be the best king of East Heaven ever. Rue practically yelled at her face. Maya felt like sweat dropping. Rue, don't you get it? You've lost your right to the throne. The doll master finally spoke up. Rue looked shocked. What do you mean? Exactly what I said. Thy council decided this morning. You are not fit to be the king of East Heaven. Instead, Princess Maya will be the queen. I think Maya smiled. Okay. I think that might have been Doll Master's line. It's been a while since I played this game. Yeah, because then it's, So you see, my dear brother, you are no longer the crown prince. She smiled evilly. Rue started powering up some magic in his dual halos. Maya, you are so dead! Rue screamed. Maya smirked and took out the Book of Cosmos. Rue gasped and let his magic drop. As you see, dear brother, your puny self-taught magic is nothing compared to my book. Here, I'll give you a taste of its power. Plus, you look a little hungry. No, I'm not hungry. Ah! He stomped as a pumpkin flew at him. Pumpkin! Maya, I'll get you for this! Why? It isn't fair. I should be the next king, not some homeless person. That's it. I'm gonna get a relic. Ah, they did it in the whatchacalls too, the brackets, nice. And steamroll Maya's puny Book of Cosmos. And after that, world domination, bitches! And now we jump to the other. Mint stared out the window, a calm look on her face. Claire was busy cooking as the young girl became lost in her thoughts. It was snowing then, too, Claire spoke up, shaking Mint from her thoughts.
Claire?
I don't know if I could...
I'm more used to yelling like this. Claire?
Mint asked quietly. Mint asking quietly, that's already... Claire smiled in a sisterly manner. The day I found you, it was also snowing. The brunette told the strawberry-haired girl. Mint nodded quietly. She was the type of person that was calm, quiet, reserved, and composed. She rarely ever got mad or upset, and when she did, she had a very good reason. Supper's almost done. Claire told Mint. Mid stood up and walked over by her arc edge. Oh, is that what it's called? That might have been something in the manual or something like that. Yeah, I call it the old pizza cutter. Mint stood up and walked by her arc edge, a smile playing on her full lips. The 11-year-old girl looked at the 14-year-old girl that was cooking dinner.
Claire, thank you,
she whispered. Claire had found Mint in the snow one day after Mint been wandering around aimlessly without a past, and without a future. What was weird about her is that she had a shining blue crystal on her forehead. Mint always for a small blue hat with white wings to cover it, though. Always had. Little spell checky here and there. Mint always for a smooth ball hat with white wings to cover it, though, quote unquote. Her strawberry hair helped, too. Ooh. After a few minutes, both girls sat down and began to quietly eat their dinner of stew and bread. Claire seemed very silent.
Claire, what's wrong?
Nothing. I just can't believe it's been 3 years since we've lived like a family. Feels nice. But you seem stressed. Maybe you should go for a walk tomorrow.
Mint smiled.
Yeah, I'll go down by the stream at dawn. If I catch you there, could you maybe...
Of course, I'll make your favorite stew.
Claire and Mint both giggled lightly. A strange noise could be heard outside.
I'll go check it out.
Mint, be careful.
Mint gripped her arc edge. The animals were going wild. At last, Mint spun around to be knocked down. A tall, white-haired guy with a large and long black hand towered over the fallen girl.
Who are you?
Mint asked as she got up and attacked. Her arc edge raised. Claire saw the two fighting and ran to the barn. She grabbed a tiller and ran outside. Claire watched as the man sent Mint sprawling back and attacked the stranger.
Hey, Claire, watch out!
Claire turned her head to see a hand coming straight towards her. Mint gasped that her best and only friend was sent to the ground.
Claire!
She screamed, her pink pigtails flying up as a power emanated from the girl. Her blue hat flew up in the air, revealing her crystal as she charged. Armed to axe, weapon overpowered brute strength as the man laughed and disappeared. Mint dropped her arc edge and ran over to Claire's lifeless body. She shook it lightly, tears falling from her emerald eyes.
Claire! Claire! Please open your eyes! He's gone now! Claire!
She cried out as her world went black.
3 years. I must find a relic to revive Claire. I will find a relic. I just have to. And then I'll bring her back.
Rue looked out over the sea as he slammed his fist onto the railing. 2 long years and now leads to a relic. I will get Maya back for this! He yelled and stamped his foot into the ground angrily. On another part of the same ship, Mint sighed.
Claire, I'm trying so hard. I'll get a relic soon, I promise you,
she said. Neither of them noticed the 2 mean-looking guys talking about something red floating in the water. Neither one noticed when the ship slammed into something, sending Rue and Mint flying. End of beginning. Take a bow, Relic-Angel. And all the people who wrote those fanfics. You just gave me a new segment for the Searching4RinoaCast. Tales of Fanfiction! Different kind of tales. Actually, it should be threads of fanfic. Oops. Threads of fanfiction. Yay! I got a new segment that could replace Tales of Roleplay. Because all of our schedules suck. Heck, the last time we were supposed to do it, we were just supposed to play cards, and that went up. We were just like, the house too messy, and somebody else got sick. Yeah, that's why you don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Dottie. Rebel. Hunt more platinums, hunt what I can kill, which brings me to the, as you know, the adventures of platinum hunting. Rebel. Doesn't really count since it has no platinum, but I will list it among this anyhow, and that's Candy Match Kitties, a match 3 Candy Crush type. All it is just get to level 50, so easy sounding, but you'll probably need to spend the coins you get for power-ups to clear some of the tougher levels. Don't spend it all on getting the 5 extra moves when you run out and haven't cleared the puzzle's quota. You want to save that for, like, power-ups. Now, I've gotten mostly on my own, just, it's like, oh, I messed up, I'll restart and do it again. Level 49, I spent 100 on a power-up, and it turns out they come in packs of 3. I used the bomb power-up at the end to clear the stage. I say level 49 because the trophy indeed pops at reaching level 50. I said get to level 50, I meant that, not completing it. That's where the goalpost lies. 3, the Button B games went on sale. The Button B will take you no time at all. Unexpected is almost the exact same game. The Button Fields, that one gets a little trickier with the button you're supposed to push and not push, because then they move a little more randomly. The object of each is to get enough points by hitting the cross button. You score more points while a blue sphere or button is out. You just mash that and get more points. And you lose points if a red button should appear or like slowly like roll into frame. Keep in mind you do have to lose a certain amount of points for the trophies. So that's like, boom, boom, boom. 3 new plats right there. Round Invaders. Complete level 1 without firing a single rocket with the circle button. Then complete all the levels up to 5, getting 2,000 points and a red saucer kill along the way. Once at level 5, spam circle to empty your rockets to use them all up and just let the game run till you die. Boom. Not even 5 minutes. Cake Invaders. Protect your Baumkuchen, which is a German cake rolled onto a spit. Like layers. Very popular in Japan. Anyways, trophy-wise, play till level 12 and hopefully you get all the trophies save for dying and surviving 3 waves with 1 layer of Baumkuchen left. Not a full cake, just 1 hit away from game over completely. So yeah, kind of like that Missile Command, but with little layer cakes, Baumkuchen. Thank you. As always, my iBad driver, he's my trophy guy. He's my trophy channel. I look at too. And I'm like, his accent, he sounds like he's from Eastern Europe, some European or something like that. I'm like, you might know more about Baumkuchen than me. And he's like, yes, it is pronounced Baumkuchen. I'm like, I believe you. This took about 14 minutes to do for me. Panda Punch, more of a pain than I expected. Took me about 50 minutes to platinum. Look out for some big coins with the letter P on them. You will need 3 of them to collect. There's these tiny cards you can collect. They're like coins by the looks of it, but I'm like, no, they're cards. That's what the game calls them. Get 100. Well, they're squares, so they're cards. Get 100 of those, and then buy at least 1 of each upgrade with 1 card or coin each. Then play through the game until you are at level 16, and then beat the boss level after that. By then I was like, okay, well, worse than the game. All I really had to do was like jump in and just spam punch, and he died before I did. Not hard. There was some careful platforming and block pushing that I personally had to restart an entire level from the start to get into. The checkpoint system is ridiculously fair, like a little bit busted in your own favor. It's like you die and come back. It's like all those enemies you killed beforehand but didn't touch a single point to get to, they're all gone. So yeah, it's a checkpoint and it auto saves your progress kind of. I'm like, So it'll take you about an hour to complete just because there's like so much to do and a lot of levels to go through. But again, you put the work in. Like I said, it took me less than an hour to do it, and I just remember I was just like messing around. But anyway, current level 751. No sleep till 999. That's the max, I think. Platinum trophies 488. Now the segment I talked about last month. Again, don't know if this is going to be a recurring segment, but Dark Side Phil.
Oh, no!
I don't really need to say any more than that. Just the fact that every other content creator can learn what not to do when watching. He is the human equivalent of Donnie Don't. Familiar with The Simpsons, you already know to don't do what Donnie Don't does. How the hell did I, who are the same age as him, by the way, we're both in our 40s. We're both on the young side of 40. And somehow I do the React content before him? Wow. How did I manage that and then have the foresight to go, let me make mine shorter? Well, the Reacts I do now, I was thinking that. Like, make mine shorter than the actual video itself, not longer. Because I seen Secret of Life or something like that, or I think it's what it's called, Secret of something. If I just say secret in detractor circles, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They did like a top 10 of the year. He started a little dipping his toes in reaction content then. It's like, here's this video of the content, hour or like 30 minutes. DSP's runtime 4.5 or some shit like that. Why do you have to pause that much? And just to talk about yourself. His favorite subject. Yeah, statistically someone has to think. My mom thinks I'm cool. That's just the latest example. I did my first Searching4RinoaCast way back. And make a crack at him about him being dismissive of just about anything and the eating noises, so leading to me editing meticulously, like I will have to do for this podcast, because if anything, my train of thought derails even faster. More often, too. That's why some videos are like, hi, post commentary for Rinoa. Sometimes I'll think of a funny thing to say later, and I'll just be like, yeah, I'll throw it in. When annotations aren't enough to cover my ass. Any cough or sneeze I might have had, I've laxed up on a little bit. One might sneak in there, and it's like, when I'm editing, I'm just like, oh, it's in. Oh, I miss it. I mean, if VTubers can get away with it, I myself being not an adorable doggo or shark or mouse or whatever you have a playlist of short videos of. Seriously, my Corona playlist is over 200 videos now. You know, all the hits. Amadai, thank you for Whatevah. I'm Goofy. Mike Tyson, again. Should turn to Chris Jericho, again. Like, I lucked out doing videos later on, you know, when capture devices were more common. It wasn't, you know, the unregistered hypercam and all that stuff, or camcorder or 10-minute videos, you know. I had to sit under the Retsu Play learning tree on what else not to do. I could see from that. And like, okay, they're doing this. It's cute, but it's wrong! So I don't do that. Like, if you have to abuse save states every 5 seconds, for example, to win a game, that video is just fucking garbage. Trash it. Like, I save state, but not to an obnoxious degree like that. That's why I canned an entire playthrough of the first Batman for the NES. I was like, oh, this is way too many load state and save states. It was like an hour and a half just to get there. Stage 5. Wow. Hour and a half. No, scrap it. That video never saw the light of day. Let me just jump straight into the Batman Returns. It's like, oh, beat 'em ups. I can get by with that. Okay. Oddly enough, I did not find out about DSP from Retsu Prey. But hey, time eventually, planets align, that sort of thing. But yeah, it was just a series of videos of him raging about Street Fighter 4. I don't know if they're up, but I think it's like DSP as a... I think it's just DSP as a scrub from, I think it's like Shen P4 or something. I don't remember. Me again, they're still there. Dark Side Phil is a scrub by Shen P1, not P4. I was close! And there's 4 parts of that too, by the way. But yeah, it's all that delicious street. It's all the... Do a fucking ball! I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm not doing anything. Why am I getting hit? Technically, blocking is doing something. That's my answer to every time he says that. I'm not doing anything. That's why you got hit. By the way, if anyone ever makes like a top 10 of all time fuck-up moments for DSP, that Metal Gear Solid video that I just mentioned, that's got to be in there. That's got to be in the contention. Because the line of that video is, I think, what is it, Chip Cheesem, it says it? I know, something along the lines of, I know Metal Gear Solid is a game that beats you over the head with information and tells you to do a certain thing over and over again. This guy's missing it! You could have ended that video on that alone. Roll credits, laugh track, roll credits. This punching down on Darkside Phil's segment was filmed in front of a live YouTube audience to all point and mock and go, look at this child defecating in the corner and refusing to clean up after itself. For a decade. For a decade plus. I didn't have a PlayStation 3 at the time, and I was curious about Street Fighter 4. It's like, oh, fighting games are coming back. That's cool. Let's see what this game's about. That's when I learned about him making multiple channels. I'm pretty sure playlists were a thing back then. I could be wrong. They at least were when I started later. Not sure at the time YouTube you could do that, but I don't need to monitor 5 to 6 different channels. Just doing this can be a full-time job if you let it. And well, he let it, and now you can't go back. That was the other thing I learned. I'm like, if I do this, I'm like, all right, now I'm beholden to making money with these people that my shut-in tendencies kick in, and I'm just like, I don't know these people. I don't know who I'm making money with. Don't make your hobby your job. Do it for the funny, not for the money. And then I go to the DSP iceberg or fall deep into that rabbit hole. Christ almighty. Blip, Curse, Lavaria, the Helicopter Company, OP Suit, John Rambo, Howard, Pandaloo, Twitch, Tevin and AJ, Evil AJ, like the biggest. They started out as fans, and now they're your biggest contributors to making videos about why this person is such a C-word. I have to hold back on saying that. I'm not Brits use that word like I say fuck a lot. They use the C-word a lot. I'm like, to Queen's English, if you will. That's a different level of cursing. I'm not, and I really use that word in general, but if the shoe fits. And like a glove for Mr. Burnell, in his failed business, he tanked into the ground with his $500,000. He has lost more partnerships, friends, mods, fans, and deals and credibility than I probably have years on content on this channel. He's got a 5-year lead on my ass, and just anybody else would look at that and go, alright, I'm done, pack it in. Gotta feed that ego so you continue to exist. The guy gets married at some Chuck E. Cheese or Dave & Buster's after he's put his other girlfriend on blast for having a panic attack during his gameplay. He got hot at someone pointing out how depression wasn't it's like, alright, it's not a disease, it's a disorder, whatever, we're talking about me. Which debunks your whole fucking argument in a matter of seconds. Story of your entire existence on YouTube. And I learned, okay, disease, that's physical ailment. Disorder's a mental ailment. I learned, so it's like, okay, I'm learning. So it's like, okay, he's an asshole, but I'm learning. It's worth mentioning he did this not even the whole depression thing, that was like not even 24 hours after the news broke about the Anthony Bourdain suicide. Finding just anything under the sun, including the sun itself, practically to blame himself. Blame anybody but himself on his shit behavior. Blame game's a lame game. And like any game he plays, he sucks at it until he rage quits, what have you. Or just kind of hits his head on the hammer, he forces that square peg into the round hole until it went in eventually. Yeah, you've all but fucked the device that it's supposed to go in. I'm like, it's in. Split wide open like a melon, but it's in. Oh my god, the shit he was spouting about fucking COVID too that time. He's like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just like the flu. Everyone's gonna get it. Yeah, everyone got it, and a million people passed away from that. What it was, it's probably curbed his own eating habits, Gotta keep that boogers and cum diet, because I bet if it was this way to, I would wager he's this way to staff when they, like, come on, where's my burger? And, stuff like, he's bitten more hands than in his 15-year legacy. Like I said, I'll bet money if his story about the hospital stay is anything to go by, if his behavior towards any tiny little obstacle in his life is anything to go by. And my sick side is just wondering, can you get gout from that diet? All that little hamburger helper, quote unquote. Hamburger hinder, more like. He comes back, he's like, all I can taste is salt. I'm like, hey, maybe they oversalted the burger. He knows he's fucked his reputation. That's why one of his latest arcs. Oh yeah, I'm duping the lore and vernacular to say arcs. What else do you call him? Like, oh my god. He's trying to secure up an interview to clear up any misconceptions, quote unquote. He's since dropped the whole King of Hate thing, because he can't, we live in a time where that's, he'll go on all the time and say, I've changed, but he'll still call people morons and idiots. I'm like, ain't unchanged but the weather, baby. Now you want to drop the King of Hate and, shoulder your shattered reputation, whatever's left of it. So yeah, went from making all sorts of like raunchy sex jokes and, one huge public breakup later. Not really public breakup, because it was like behind the scenes, as he would say. But I always say that period that Panda Lee must have found God. DSP found out she wasn't talking about him when she found. That's not you, motherfucker. Don't you know that you're toxic? pretty sure the whole thing happened after, like, there's, like, one stream where Pandely was sick, and DSP were like, oh, she's gotta wake up and make me dinner so I can continue in so many words. I'm paraphrasing, but... And when I say paraphrasing, I mean saying the quiet part out loud! Dropping the king hate thing, it's like... And he'll probably disavow he ever was that, and he'll be like, oh, I'm a changed person, and all that stuff. I've seen the lights. I'm like, no, we've seen your darkness, and you refuse to show any more of it. But you're gonna keep digging down and just... Look at this, more darkness! Your reputation's in China, and you somehow find a way. I'm like, oh my god, he's still digging! Wow. You're just, like... Almost every hour, there's like one... multitude of YouTube channels just pointing out, like, okay, you got freaked out over the latest gameplay of, for example, I don't know what it's called, but there was like some, like, it's like an upgrade window. I can't remember the name of the game, but it's like some raunchy, like, in window and making all like, oh, you want to upgrade your weapons, make it stuff like that. And it's just like, oh, I don't want to hear it anymore. So Phil's a pussy, but allegedly didn't wait till one turned 18 to try and access one. Trapped in a sexless marriage just to clap back at the trolls for one day. Just one. Either his that whipped, or his back is so messed up over the years, because he's always claimed to have back problems. He downs the wine and the booze just to get some sleep, on that gin and world. Anything you can probably think of, conspiracy theory, I'm like, when it comes to that and you, I'm going to listen to the other person. I don't trust you with the 2K, and it turned out you had a cat. And there were people guessing for years that it was like going to be rat content, because you were doing that shit already. You were doing it already. And then you make a side channel. And then the whole shorts thing you kind of jumped on after saying that was stupid. Yeah, he dismisses it until he decides, oh, I can make money off this. That whole video ingrained in my memory, probably the memory of a lot of you guys. That's like, I can quote it. Why would I go back to Twitch when Twitch is a model based off of begging? Rent free, ha ha ha, rent free, cha cha cha. I don't know if the escort thing was ever proven, but apparently him lying on his tax forms to get a bankruptcy is a thing. His mobile gaming addiction. Like, I'm just supposed to, after 15 years of this, just trust DSP at his word when I've given but a few examples off the top of my head at his two-facedness. This is the man who proclaimed he's never rage-quitted in his, quote, entire existence on YouTube. Just about direct word for word. Never rage-quit. While a 7-hour plus video full of rage quits proves you're full of shit. Phil's problem is he can't disprove anything. He'll just... It's always that dismiss tactic of moron with an A in it, or buffoon, that anybody who believes in that is they're just wrong and they need professional help and blah 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 blah. Which is scummy in its own self, because you're not a doctor. I wouldn't believe you if you played one on TV, because you're a shitty actor. On that too. Do I need to go into projects? It's not like they lazily edit you with anybody else's footage of a rage quit to make you look bad. That shit's all you, homie. Surface level shit even. Like, by the way, if that's not a Nazi hat he's wearing, I'm Cody Rhodes. But wait, I don't have a hot wife or a slight lisp, so I guess that's 100% a lie. But But yeah, you learn more from fuck-ups than you do, finesse. I'm like, okay. Download program, don't do this, don't do what DSP does. What DSP does do, really don't do it. Okay, well that's not entirely true. I mean, technically we both did rage quit Drakengard 3. Mine was just a little bit later, and I did the DLC because I love you guys. I think you got maybe like a ending, if that. I forget. I haven't seen that. This is how you don't play in quite a while. And him doing bully kind of fueled me wanting to do it. I'm like, this is actually a pretty easy for a Rockstar game. My only knowledge of that is that in GTA 3 where I couldn't do like the boat mission where you gotta protect the guy with the fucked up hands. Like, he can't hold a shotgun, so you gotta take sniper and help him blow up the boat for the cartel or whatever gang I was fighting on that mission. Never got past that. And then Phil with the for his 13-2 Let's Play, he looked up the ending. I'm like, I guess I can steal from the master and do that for Dragon Card 3. At least show you how it ends. I did that for all 3 Dragon Card games because I'm like, I am not doing this. I need to move on. Sometimes shit just doesn't work out video-wise or like entertainment-wise. I'm like, this is dreck, and it can be discarded as such, and I can move on and play something else. Oh, cool. It happens sometimes. I at least finished Nier Automata. I didn't get like the super duper secret ending, but you saw credit roll with the like moon end ending, which is more than I can say ever getting from Dragon Card 1 to 3. So that's 1 for me. Technically 2, because it's Nier and Nier Automata. Wouldn't shit on Phil if it was just that. You know, that'd be like, it's like, okay, you find something else that's different, and then you like get more out of it, and then, you know, kudos. Not even gonna sugarcoat it, but I did like do that when I did the last video for Brave Fence and Musashi. That was me raging. That's 100% a rage quit on my end. I don't have to spin anything to make myself look better. I'll freely admit that, yeah, that's what that was. That's what happened. Hopefully you can still count my rage quits on, I want to say 7 fingers instead of 7.5 hours. And that's not even counting the Kirby one or stuff recent one. He rage deleted, that Capcom, no, it's not the Capcom collection, the Street Fighter collection. Again. I was like, oh, again? I missed the first one, obviously. I'm not an avid watcher of the, Detractor television, but, sometimes, you know, it's like I do wrestling stuff nowadays. That's how I keep up on things. That's all Detractor channels is. It's just giving me the shit I want to see. I don't have to sit through 2, 3, 4 hours of DSP. You got it in bite-sized, palatable form. And that's what it comes down to, man. It's that ego. That's what it is. That's what's forcing him to survive instead of thrive on the internet. He was thriving for a time. He was up there. He was, like, conventions and everything else, like, probably making money hand over fist or something like that, but the well dried up, and Phil then put it on other people that will rather drown with him than instead of swim away and save their own necks. There's a fine line between a small amount of ego to stoke creative fires and too much ego. That's a big fire you can't contain and usually scorches what you've built. At no point has DSP shown me anything in any of his hour-long whinging pre-stream coping so far is up his own ass. When he speaks, you think, oh, did he forget to wipe? Ouroboros level up his own ass segments other than contempt and jealousy for anybody who's not you, and not even involved in what you do for a living. Just people successful in general. And believe people who disagree, not even detractor ways, but just slightly have a different opinion, need, in your own words, to seek professional help. Every content creator is now smarter for seeing you fail and learning not to repeat those mistakes. I award you no bits. And may God have mercy on your soul. Because you sure ain't gonna find any here. Not on YouTube, not on the internet. Like, even like VTubers I haven't heard from. I'm like, oh, I need $500,000 in because I suck so bad as a human being. The burns he's taken from all the cameo shit. You know, the Kevin Nash, Jim Cornette, everybody put him on. You make Jim Cornette, I hate modern wrestling, right about you? That's when you know you fucked up. I ain't got no sympathy. No sympathy. None. No sympathy. Not on the internet, and certainly not here in the Searching for RinoaCast. The Searching for Rinoa who grinds until he is as far away from level level 1 podcast if you've seen any RPG of mine.
Least I don't need to beg.
I'll get level 1 with you, but it'll be New Game Plus for me. So, gonna have all that broken shit at the ready. Just like a Chrono Trigger. I'm going for the other endings. I'll skip to the end and smack Lavos in the dick. Level 1, you don't even have cool shit to use at level 1. It's like, oh, I have no abilities. I'm just gonna punch things. I'm like, no, let me get up there so I can punch things and heal off of it. I'm like, I'm a vampire. Blah 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 blah. Oh no. We do have things in common. We're both on the young side of 40. We both like eating food, which brings me off the Yamcha-sized hole of the internet that is DSP and onto Searching4RinoaCast. Just in the week of January into February, one god tier after another. The latter one first because this is just a Wendy's rant. But with me, it's going to be a positive one, so hey. If you're looking for a break from your DSP positivity. I don't know why I did the Trump hands thing. Did I just say the loud part quiet there? It's not a cult.
Can you say that? Can you really?
Different skin tones say big gnosis. That's all I'm gonna. Let's end it on that. Yeah, Wendy's. Promote whoever decided to put chili on fries with cheese. Like, how long did it take you to figure that out? It seemed like I was looking at it. It's like, is that a new thing you're doing? Also put more barbecue sauce on my bourbon burger. I'll take the mess. I'll bite that bullet. I'm like, no, this is the thing. This is the neatest barbecue sandwich I've ever eaten. I'm like, I don't know. Give Sonic a run for their money, and they use tater tots. I'm like, damn. They did it on a baked potato for the longest time, but I'm like, I saw the fries and was like, nah. That new mozzarella chicken. My mom got that and couldn't finish the last of it, so I got a little bit of that, and that went a long way. I've sadly missed out on your limited time strawberry frosties. Are they as cracktastic as the chocolate? So, it was my sister who did the shopping for this. So like, I know you like root beer. I brought this Barks, and I'm like, fountain soda Barks. You think Barks has bite before? My taste buds were O-facing at the first little sippy sip. Wow. Rinoa Ranger here to tell you not to sleep on fountain soda. Rinoa Ranger says, I hope they have free refills. Wuss! Alright, now onto the actual snackage. Choose-It Puffed, the double cheddar. Choose-It Choose Curls is basically what these are. I'm like, I was hoping for good, but I had no idea it'd be this good. Wow. The white cheddar was just as good. I got 2 bags. The next one, I'm like, I'm gonna get this again for my next week's shopping. I don't know if I mentioned this before. My new thing is to mix drinks with a Hershey's strawberry syrup, because I can mix that bad boy with just about anything. You get some of that and pina colada type of drink. My poison's the sparkling iced coconut pineapple. I have one here in my hand, but I don't have the strawberry anymore. Great mix. New thing, though, I'm making my own dulce de leches, kind of, with the caramel syrup. Put that in milk. I tried to mix it with the other thing. I'm like, I don't know if caramel's going to work with pineapple or something like that. And then I forget about it, and a day later, I'm like, now my caramel's all caked at the bottom. Yeah, it's okay. It don't mix that good. That's a solid syrup. You know, the strawberry is a little bit more liquid than a little less molasses, so to speak, or whatever. Other than that, I'm getting by on these really nice Stouffer dinners lately. Grandma's chicken bake, spaghetti, and the meat sauce, the scallop noodles, all good stuff, all good. Yeah, not much in the form of snacking for now, but hey, a couple new segments. Don't know if I'm going to keep up with the low-hanging fruits. Unless that's my Rinoa gets to be a petty little bitch and go, hey, I'm not this asshole. I'm not getting ratioed on Twitter by little tiny Greta Thunberg and taking it in the Andrew Tate jail. All right. Woo. But that's the podcast. That's right, America. This happened and we could have prevented it. Hate watch or no hate watch, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice. Come on, Dave, go to Cracker Barrel. Right after you plebia. Holy shit, he's in the car already. Ooh.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow.
Snuck up behind me and everything. That Aikido stuff, man. Mind's eye and shit. Let me out.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.